Hey, what's up, you guys? Today, I am not balding. I swear, my hair's just being weird. I tried to fix it. It's not really working. Whatever. I just wanted to talk about something that I've noticed. Well, that I has always kind of been an issue for me. But I feel like it's kind of getting worse. So, um, basically, I wanted to talk about the death of the third space, which is a very talked about topic. It's something that, a lot of people have, um, I've heard a lot of people talk about, and it's something that I think everyone is aware of an issue. But quick definition, a third place is, so your first place would be home, your second place is work or school, and your third place is where you go when you're not at one of those places. So, thinking about past generations, it would be like, say, the mall is where teenagers go when they're not at home, they're not at school. Let's say they want to hang out with their friends. Where are we going to go? Let's go to the mall, you know? Um, and so, um, so, and then you also think of like, I don't know, in the past you might have like a diner or like it's something like that, just a place where you go and you don't really spend a lot of money, if any. Like, there are still like coffee shops and diners and things like that. And those have been historically third places, but they do cost money to go there. A true third space would be something like a mall. I think that's like the epitome of it, at least in my opinion, because you can go there, you can spend absolutely no money, and you can just walk around, and it's just a space to go and be. Right? So that's basically what a third space is just a place to go and I to hang out with people that's not like someone's house, that's not you're together because of work or school. It's just somewhere else. And so the third spaces are something that so I am 18 years old currently. So it's something that I was a bit young at the tail end of like when malls were really booming. Like the mall, like my local mall is a dead mall. Um, and so it's always been hard for me to find like a place to hang out with people. What my friends and I have done, for the most part, is like gone to a park or something because that's somewhere that we can just sort of meet up. It's not like the burden of needing to like get your house ready because that's also the thing is like a barrier to hanging out with people a lot, in my opinion, or like in my experience, has been like, okay, where are we gonna do it? Because I don't want to clean my whole house. I know my mom's gonna make me clean my whole house if I want to have a friend over, or like I don't want to. I don't know, like going over someone's house is like tends to be, in my experience, kind of like a whole thing. Like it's kind of I don't quite want to say an event, but like it's a whole thing. So I would rather go to a place with someone. And so of course you could still go to a restaurant. But restaurant food has gotten so expensive recently that that's not something you can just do all of the time. And I try not to say no to like, going out to restaurants and hanging out with people at places where you do need to spend money like that. Um, but I mean, I don't have a lot of money, like there's only so much of it that's sustainable. Um like I can't just be going out to eat like more than once a week to hang out with people. But I mean, it's like it's the summer and I'm a teenager that only has to work part-time. I'd like to hang out with people, but it's just not really ending up happening super often because we don't really have a place to go. And so, like, something I wanted to talk about, because it happened literally yesterday, or not 2 days ago, not yesterday. Sorry, anyway, um, is that so? Okay. I wanted to hang out with a friend. We couldn't do it over either of our houses, and so we decided to go out somewhere. So it's the summer currently. Our original plan was to just sort of hang out in like a shopping center or just like, sort of a town. Like, I'm not going to say exactly where we went because this is the internet, but like, we went to a place where there's a bunch of stores and you can walk around, but the thing is, it's the summer and it ended up being really hot that day. So, where I usually fall back on like parks or just walking around outside, sometimes that isn't entirely like it's possible, but it becomes unpleasant, especially after a long time, and I wanted to spend a lot of time with this friend. So, it started out with us just going to like we were going between a couple of stores, but every time we would have to go outside to switch a store, it was like really, really hot out. So we were like, okay, we would prefer to just go to one store, and just sort of walk around in that one store. Which is again why I say the mall would have been great if the mall wasn't like dead. Basically, if the mall wasn't like an almost unsafe place to go. Like, I wouldn't exactly call it unsafe, but there are so few people there that like I'm a little like it's just not a place for teenagers to hang out anymore, really, in my opinion. Um, but that would have been great because all we wanted was a space to hang out and be inside and not have to deal with the heat. But what we instead opted for was a Walmart because that was the biggest store in our like the specific shopping center that we were in, and we could just sort of like walk around the Walmart, like walk around the perimeter and walk up and down the aisles, and it didn't quite feel like absurdly small. Um, because like Walmarts tend to be pretty big stores. I think. I mean, at least the one that we were at was like it very like we could walk around and not feel confined. Where most stores, it would feel like if you were just walking around for a couple hours in the same store, you kind of go insane a little bit. Um, so we were just sort of walking around, up and down the aisles and whatever. And we were having a great conversation. It was great because we like solved our problem. Okay, we're hanging out in this Walmart, and even though it's a little bit like, I wish it could be anywhere but Walmart. I wish we could be somewhere that was a little bit more like, I don't know, less like, I guess you can go into a store and you don't necessarily need to buy something, but like it's still like, I don't know, you feel kind of out of place just sort of walking around aimlessly in a store for an extended period of time, but whatever, we were going to do it anyways. Until after a couple of hours, I actually don't remember how long we were there. We ended up being approached by, like, I don't know if it was like a security person or a manager, but he wasn't wearing the normal Walmart uniform. It was like a button up, it was different. And he was like, "You two, you've been in our store for hours now. What are you doing here?" And we were like, "Oh, we were just like walking around and talking." And he was like, "Okay, well, you're messing up our security cameras. Like, you need to leave unless there's a reason that you need to be here." And we were just like, "Oh, okay." So we got kicked out of a Walmart. I got kicked out of a Walmart. And it wasn't because I was doing anything wrong. It was because I was just walking around in the Walmart, and I guess he said like, if you're not going to buy anything, you need to leave. So I guess if we had bought something, it would have been like not as big of a thing. But like, it was just because we wanted to go somewhere without necessarily needing to spend money. We had already spent money at one of the stores beforehand. And we were like, okay, well, that's kind of enough. Like, we only have so much money. Both of us are, like, we both have a job but don't get a lot of hours at our job. So we were like, okay, we're, like, going to college soon. I kind of want to save money. I don't really want to spend money just on something stupid. So, in theory, like, we just wanted to go somewhere to not spend any money, but to still be able to hang out and be in a location. And we were like, okay, well, Walmart mostly just has, like, cheap stuff. Like, I usually end up buying something if I go into a Walmart, but I was like, okay, I know if we're going in here with the intention of not buying anything, I probably won't. So I don't know. So we weren't going to buy something just to be allowed to stay in the store. Like, we both didn't want to spend money. We intentionally just wanted to walk around. But like, I don't know, but we got kicked out for just sort of being there. Like, and I don't. So that was really like disheartening, and that was very like a society moment of like, what, where am I supposed to go? Because also, and I want to bring this up, that I went a couple months ago. Um, I was at a restaurant with a friend, and we were just sort of sitting there and talking. And so we like, and we had gone to this restaurant. It was after like she had just gotten back from a week long vacation. That we didn't really have much time to like talk to each other during, so we were just sort of like catching up. And we weren't being like loud or obnoxious or anything. We were just talking, and it was just the two of us. But so we went there to get food. We finished our food, and then after we finished our food, the waiter came around like three separate times just to be like, "All right, when you guys are ready for the check, you just go to the front. Like, here's like, just whenever you're ready, just go up to the front." And by the third time, we were like, okay, we're kind of like getting kicked out here. We're like, they're asking us to leave, basically, without directly saying it. And again, we weren't being like a nuisance. We were just talking, like genuinely just chatting. But I guess they wanted to fill the table, and since they knew that we weren't going to spend any more money, they just kind of wanted us out. And like between the two of those happening in the past couple months, like I don't usually try to linger in public spaces super often. Like I do try to like, okay, I go into the store, I buy something at the store if I need to, or like if I want to, and then that's like, and then that's the end of that, and then I leave the store and I go somewhere else. But the thing is that recently it's just been so hot that I can't really just like, I don't know, like generally go to a shopping center, and like I don't know, it's just harder to like hang out outside because it's so like, I don't know, and I'm in Pennsylvania. Like it's not like I'm in the South or anything. I can't really even imagine like living in Florida or something right now, just because it's so hot all of the time, even in like a relatively mild state in like borderline Northeast. But like I don't know, I just like, it's just hard to like, I don't want to go to a park with someone right now because it's just too hot for that to be sustainable for an extended period of time. I don't want to go to a shopping center because even just walking in between the stores is like, I really just want to stay in this store. Like going outside is like a whole like, it is like 90 to 100 degrees right now. Like it's kind of unbearable, especially with humidity and stuff. Like, and I'm a person that tends to have a pretty good heat tolerance. Like I can sit in heat for a while. It's just that I would prefer not to. Like it's like 90 to 100 degree heat. I guess it's not 100 super often, but like it's been 90 pretty consistently, and that's just sort of like unpleasant. Like I wouldn't actively seek that out, and I don't want to like plan a hangout with someone and say we're going to walk and be in 90 degree weather and that's going to be fine and we're both just going to be able to talk like nothing's happening, because that's just not true, and that's not something that like, I don't know, I just like, and then I don't know, so then like I just like, man, what? There we go. But, oh, come on. There we go. But, so we're trying to find a solution for it because our local mall is just not like, it's like borderline unsafe. Like there hasn't really been like much crime or anything, but like it just sort of feels like there's police around it because not very many people actually go there, and they're like there's stores that are closed down, and or most of the stores in the mall are closed down. There just kind of aren't very many people around, and the people that are around are cops, and it just isn't. It doesn't feel like a great environment to just be in, especially because they closed down a lot of the stores that I would actually like want to walk around in. I don't know. It's just like not. I don't want to go to the mall because the mall isn't what it used to be, and I don't know where else to go, because even shopping centers where you don't have to walk very much in between the stores, going in between the stores is such a it is such a event. It's such a like a struggle because it's 90 degrees out and humid, and that's like I can't do it. I can't plan to do that for like that's just not something that anyone enjoys, you know? But if you stay in a store for too long, apparently they kick you out, and that was Walmart, which is like, I mean, I'm surprised that Walmart has that advanced of like security systems, honestly, because I know that Walmart is a place that like people tend to steal from. So I guess like, like I so I guess it would make sense, but I've never heard of anyone getting like punished for stealing from a Walmart, which is why people do it. Like, I'm surprised that they have that advance of security systems, and like they just sort of don't like punish anyone that's stealing, because apparently they track the people that are in there and how long they're walking around in there and what they're doing in there, because they did that, you know? Ouch. Yeesh. Because like apparently they tracked us for that long of a time, and like which is like kind of dystopian in and of itself. Like, I'm kind of glossing over the fact that like I went there and they tracked me and a friend, and the security system like kept following us to even like take account of the fact that we had been there for several hours, and then it started alarming the workers to say, get these people out because they have been here for an extended period of time. Like, that's weird. That's weird that happened, but that happened. And like, I don't know, I just like, but at this point I'm just like, where do I go? What do I do? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. And the answer is like nowhere. The answer is that like just sort of the world has been like everything has been shaped around the internet. And so the internet has kind of become the third place. Is like when you're not at home or at work, you are on the internet. And when you're on the internet, like, I mean, you don't need to be taking up space. You don't need to like, you can still be making corporations money on the internet, you know? Like, because of ads and whatever. Like, I mean, obviously they profit off the internet, but like when you're at a place, when you're at a physical location that has like, you know, limited seats at a restaurant, or I don't even know what Walmart was doing. I guess they probably just thought we had stolen at some point or something, or they just didn't want us being, I don't know. I really don't. But like, I mean, it's like, when you're taking up space in a physical location, all of a sudden that's like weird, not okay, I guess. And like, I don't know. I just like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go, because the answer is that the society is built around me not going anywhere, but I want to go places. I want to hang out with people in person. But I can't always, go over someone's house. I just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to, bro, what? I just, I'm gonna forfeit, I guess. but I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, because like it's at least during the summer where I have the most free time. Because here's the thing: is during like like if I was an adult, like if I just worked a 9 to 5 every weekday, then it would be fine to just. I mean, I hate whatever. Like I would hang out with people once a week, and it would be the weekends, and that's fine. Like it's got to be fine. Um, but like I and like I would be able to spend money on a restaurant. I would be able to spend money like on going to a place once a week, and it would be fine. But right now it's the summer, and I hang out with people more than once a week because I'm a teenager and I don't have enough. Like I work part time. I'm not working every single day, So like, so I need to kill the time somehow. Like my way of killing the time is hanging out with people because that's what it's supposed to be. And I don't, in this economy, I'm not going to spend money just to spend money. So, whatever. But I don't know what to do because I kind of need to spend money. I kind of need to go somewhere that spends money. I kind of need to I could go to a restaurant, but even at a restaurant, I'm going to get kicked out after like a set amount of time. I can't go to a store and not spend money or I'm going to get kicked out. I can't go to I don't know, I can't walk around in like a public space because most of those are outside, and the outside public spaces not cost money. They like the outside public spaces that don't cost money cost my health, cost like discomfort because it's so hot out all of the time. And I could go into a whole climate change thing, and I might, but like I mean, even like I don't know, it's just like unpleasant. I don't want to hang out outside if I don't have to, because like why would I? Like, and I guess I do have to, but it's just like I don't like I guess I do have to, I just like don't like it's so unpleasant that I'm going to end up hanging out with people less just because like I can't just be outside in 90-degree weather when it's humid for an extended period of time, because like I'm not like the human body isn't built to deal with temperatures like that. Or I mean like for short periods of time, sure, if I lived in a hotter climate in general, then I would be, I guess. But like I live in a place where like I experience all 4 seasons pretty, like the winter gets cold, like it'll get down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and the summer gets hot, and like the fall and winter, or the fall and spring are nice temperatures, but like I mean it's just like they don't last. It's very variable when stupid. It's variable. So like even though I'm someone that I feel like can tolerate heat better than most people, it's still really unpleasant. And in the winter, I can't go outside either because I have no cold tolerance. And it's just sort of unpleasant. You need to like bundle up and be like, I don't know, like it's just like not really conducive. It's great when it's like 70 degrees and sunny. But when it's not, like when it's not, it's just like you can't, there's no place inside where you can go. If it's rainy, if it's like, if the conditions are at all not good outside, there really isn't anywhere to go. And I guess the answer would just be to like drive around, but that costs money. Gas costs money. I'm paying for that, and like, I don't know, I just wish there was a location for me to go to, like the mall, or I wish that prices weren't so absurd that I could go to like a restaurant and have that be fine. And I wish the culture was more built around just like sort of sitting and hanging out, so that I could just sort of go to a restaurant, spend a set amount of money, and then be able to just like sit there with a friend for a while and talk, because that's always how it used to be. That's how people used to hang out with each other. But then with the internet, it became that, like, you didn't necessarily need to go to a physical place to hang out with people. And all of a sudden, now that being in a physical space isn't like it was that, like, people needed to just be able to sit in a place to, like, exist with each other. And so if, like, a restaurant or a coffee shop or whatever, I mean, I don't think I would get kicked out of a coffee shop, but I don't feel like I could be loud there either. Like, if I, like, restaurants had it as, like, sort of almost a necessary evil to allow people to just sort of sit there, when that was the culture, is always just going to a restaurant, like, buying a thing of fries for the table and, like, just sort of hanging out, is like, okay, well, at least they're coming to our business. At least when they are coming to get a meal, they'll probably get it here because this is their meeting spot. And, you know, like, it was sort of seen as, like, a, like, like a necessary thing, you know, like something that it's like, yeah, this isn't making us much money now, but, like, these are customers that we want to keep. And now that that's not a necessary thing, now that people can hang out digitally, like, that, like, it's not like a necessary evil anymore. It's not something that's necessary to sustain business because people are going to go there anyways. That, like, I don't know. I, like, it's, like, so it's just, like, the society is not, like, built around people sitting there and hanging out, so they don't. So they're not allowed. So they can kick people out and it'll be fine. I'm sorry, I'm, like, losing my train of thought because this guy in the chat's just being the worst. But, like, like, previously it was just, like, the culture is you go and you hang out. And, like, sometimes you spend money and sometimes you don't. And, like, regardless, like, you can hang out with people regardless. If you want to spend money and you want to go shopping, you can, and there's a million places for that, and there still are a million places for that. But if you don't want to spend money, you could just walk around the mall, and you didn't necessarily need to. You could just not spend money at the mall. You could just sort of walk around and talk to people and go in the stores and browse and window shop and whatever, but you didn't need to, like, you didn't need to spend money to, like, you didn't need to spend money to, like, just be able to hang out with someone. And now you do, because those spaces don't exist anymore. Malls, at least around me, and at least what I've seen on the internet, unless there's a huge mall, like, it's, even the huge ones are dying. Like, all of, like, these communal spaces that have climate control, are just sort of, like, not, no one goes there anymore, so they've become just sort of, like, unsafe places almost, or just not conducive places to, like, hanging out with people, you know? They, like, it's gotten to the point where it's, like, the only, like, it's like a 50-50, like, you're at the mall and the people that you see are going to be, like, a worker, a cop, or, like, a normal person. Like, the 50-50 is split between customers and, like, people working there to make sure that nothing bad is going to happen. And when there's that many people there making sure that nothing bad is going to happen, it makes me think that something bad is going to happen. Even though, like, I think that, like, I haven't heard of any, like, crime being committed there, probably because they're being so active in deterring it, but it just sort of feels unsafe regardless. And again, I could hang out at, like, they do still have outdoor malls that are doing fine, and they have shopping centers and stuff, but that requires facing the elements, and if outside isn't a good temperature or weather, or it's really windy or rainy, or, you know, like, it's just annoying and hard, and I would rather just not hang out, and not that I would rather not hang out, It's just that it makes it that much more annoying and that much less likely to happen. You know, if I know that I'm going to have to be out in the heat or the cold or the rain or the wind or the whatever other like unpleasant condition that like I don't know, it just makes it less likely that like the friend is going to agree to it or that like that date is going to be what's agreed on because we say like, oh, let's hang out for the second time this month. Okay, well, it's supposed to rain this day, this day, this day, this day, this day, and we could just go in the rain, but most of the time we'd rather just try to work around the rain, but that means we hang out less, and it just means I don't hang out with people in person at all, and it sucks. Unless I'm going over someone's house, which I do appreciate, but it's just like, it's not something that you can expect like every day. It's not something you can expect super often just because like people need to clean their house. And I know that I personally wouldn't care if I went over someone's house and it was dirty, but like I don't know, like my parents would care if someone came over our house and it was dirty, you know? Like I I don't know. It's just like it just makes it harder and more complicated to hang out with someone because there aren't those spaces anymore. Like, I'm excited to go to college so I can have those spaces, but even at that, like, the courtyards at college, am I even going to be able to, like, use them? Because of how, like, because now I'm going to go into my climate change rant of, like, okay, well, like, it rains harder and, like, weirdly more and less often. Like, you'll go through periods of no rain and it'll just be, like, here at least, when you've got no rain, it's just humid. Like recently what I've seen is that like it feels like it's trying to rain but it's too hot, which is a horrible thing to like notice and see, and like it feels like really bad, but like or it just like I made that observation a bit ago and I haven't stopped thinking about it because it just feels like a really really bad sign, because it's really hot and really humid. And there have been a few times where, like, I'll just be sitting in my car at night, you know? Like, I'll just be sort of, I don't know, like, it'll be hot and humid, but, like, I just need somewhere to sit and be by myself. And it'll rain for, like, it'll rain for, like, 2 minutes. And it'll just, like, sort of, like, it'll start out with just, like, very very light rain and then get like hard for a bit and then stop, and it'll last maybe 5 minutes, and I don't even think I would have noticed it if I was inside, so I don't know how often it happens, but I feel like it happens most times that I'm just sort of in my car, because then I'm more aware of the things going on around me. That it'll be really 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 humid and really hot, like to the extent that like my phone overheats, you know? Like, it'll be, like, my AC isn't enough, you know? But I still just need to be somewhere isolated. I need to be able to, like, I don't know, talk or make noise and not be in the house because it's nighttime, whatever. But, like, it'll happen for, like, 5 minutes and then it'll stop. And it feels like I'm not, like, an environmental expert or anything, but it feels like it's trying to rain, but it's too hot. Because it's really humid. It's like the exact conditions where it would start raining, and it'll rain for just a little bit, and then it'll stop, and it'll still be just as humid after it stops, and nothing will change. It just feels weird and bad. But we'll go days without like we'll go a long time without proper rain. You just have weird rain like that. It'll just be humid and annoying. And then when it does rain, it rains hard. It rains for a long time. You know, like it'll rain all day and all into the next day, and it'll be hard rain the whole time. And especially recently, we've gotten these really bad lightning storms. Like it'll be storming, like I'll have the lights on in my room and I'll still like see the lightning flash from the window. Like it's absurd. It's so bright and so loud, and the power goes out all the time, and like it's not like this has never happened, but it feels kind of weird and different now because because I see it trying to rain and then it doesn't, and then when it does rain, it's so strong. Like when it does rain, it's several days long in like an event. And again, like I'm not an expert on climate stuff. Like this could just be normal. It could just be something that like I don't know, I haven't noticed for one reason or another, but it's something that I've been seeing a lot of recently, and I've only noticed at all recently. And so that's making me think like I'm going to go to college, right? But like if it's like stiflingly humid and hot and like or extremely rainy for days at a time, or if it's just cold or snowy, or because I'm going to college in a place that also experiences all four seasons, like the winter is just as bad, where I can't really go outside and be in the courtyards and stuff. And sure, the fall and spring are nice, but in my experience for the past few years, fall and spring are a really, really short transition period. Like it'll just sort of be a couple weeks where you've got nice weather, and then a lot of back and forth between the extremes where you'll get like, if it's spring and it's going from cold to hot, it'll still like snow every once in a while, like it's not even like it's just like I don't even know how to like it'll go from snowing to hot and the snow melts and then it'll go back to snowing, and it's not like it's a nice temperate like in between. It's just the extremes back and forth. And that's why I really don't like my favorite season is summer because I've a better heat tolerance than cold tolerance, and I don't like the fall and spring because it's just unpredictable. Like I never know what the weather of the day is going to be, and it feels like it's always like too hot or too cold. There are very few days where I feel like it's a good temperature. Like there aren't really a lot of like nice like 70-degree days. Except like maybe right after a rainstorm, Like it just feels like it never happens. It's weird. It's weird, and I don't like it. It feels wrong. It feels weird. And so I'm thinking like, okay, I go to college and there's, more people are willing to like be in these outside spaces, and the communal spaces are, honestly, I mean, most of them are for studying. Like, yeah, you've got like the lunch hall and whatever, but like, you got like the library and the classrooms and stuff, and those are mostly like quiet and for studying. The main thing with college is that you hang out and you study outside because there are these great courtyards and they've got like shade from trees and whatever. But if it's gonna be this hot and this humid and this weird with weather, I don't feel like I'm gonna like, I don't feel like it's gonna fix all that much, because it's still gonna be like, at least I won't get kicked out of the internal spaces. But I mean, if I go to a store, I still will. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just weird, and I feel like there's no winning. Because like, I don't know. It's just like I can't just hang out inside with someone because that's not the culture anymore. The culture is either buy something or get out. And I can't hang out outside with someone because the weather's weird. And it's like, I just can't be outside for that extended of a period of time to hang out with someone all day, because if I'm outside all day, like, I just don't think I'd be able to do it, and like, I don't know. And if I go to a place that's meant to be public and you're meant to be there for an extended period of time, like the only ones I can think of are like a library, or like a museum has a not very high entrance fee, but that's like a very like, I'm not going to be able to just hang out with a friend at a museum, because when I'm hanging out with a friend, I tend to be like louder, or even just like normal conversational. It would just feel weird in a museum because most of the time the conversation tends to revolve around the stuff you're looking at. But those are the only things that I can really think of that don't have like a time limit, or maybe a museum would. I really have been to very few museums. The ones that I've been to haven't had like time limits, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's like a pass for a certain, period of time, like a certain amount of hours or something. I don't know. I just like. I feel like there's no winning. I feel like it's not like it's just not really possible to like. I don't know. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, the answer is what everyone like. I mean, what like the businesses would prefer is if I just stuck to being online. Like what everyone what in theory I'm supposed to do is just hang out with people digitally, but that's not fulfilling. Like straight up, it's not like I would really, really rather hang out with people in person. I want to hang out with people in person. I'm someone that really, like, I'm someone that really wants, like, I like genuine connection with people a lot. Like, I don't like texting people because it doesn't feel as genuine. I feel like it's not, like, I don't know. Like, I don't even want to just call or text people. I want to hang out with them. I want to see them in person and have a conversation. I want, like, I want real, like, I want it to be real. I want it to be like it was in the past, like when, people in the 80s hung out with each other all of the time, and not to just romanticize the past because I wasn't there. I don't know. But, like, it feels like it was a happier time then, and it feels like the obvious answer to me, at least, is that you suck. The obvious answer to me, at least, is that people hung out with each other in person. People had a genuine, like, physical connection with each other, and that, like, that just made people closer to each other, made people less lonely, less isolated. The reason that I'm talking to a camera right now is because I'm lonely and I don't have people to talk to, because I can't just hang out with people every day because it's such an event to plan when I'm hanging out with people. It's such like a thing. I need to say this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to get around it being really hot, or I just got a notification on my phone. I think it's supposed to rain. Like, I'm not, it's like I hung out with someone yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days ago at work yesterday. I keep thinking it was yesterday because I just kind of blanked out yesterday. But like, it's just like, I hung out with someone 2 days ago and now I sort of gotta let it like recharge, because that's what the culture is right now, that like I can't hang out with someone several days in a row, that's too much. And I don't have very many friends, because guess what, when you don't hang out with people in person very much, you don't have as much of a connection with them. You get less, like, you don't feel as tied to someone if most of how you communicate with them is over text, and you can text someone at any time, Like, I just, it sucks. I want to hang out with people in person so bad. I want more friends, but it's hard to make friends. Where do I do that? School, I guess, but like, it didn't really work. I tried, because it's just, I mean, and I did have friends when I was in school. It's just that it's summer now, and the friends that I had, I mean, like, some of them are on vacations out of the country, whatever, but like, also some of them, it's just like those friendships just didn't stick because it didn't feel like it was as genuine of a connection, because we talked in school, but we never hung out after school because it's such an event to hang out with people outside of school, because you need to really plan it. You need to figure out what you're doing. It's not like there's easy places to just go to. Like, you really need to think about these things, and that just makes it less likely that it's going to happen, And it sucks. It really does. It really, really sucks. Like, I don't know what to do. Yeah, that's not, sorry. it really sucks to not have a lot of genuine friends because that's all I've ever really wanted. But I don't think it's my fault, and I don't think it's anything wrong with me or even necessarily the people that I'm around. It's just that it's hard to hang out with people and it's hard to get a good connection, you know? Like, just because the society that we've built has just sort of favored fake connection, has favored the stuff that you make over social media, because that's what's sort of manufactured, because social media can make money. Hanging out with people in person, just walking around the mall not buying anything, isn't making anyone money, you know? It's like just hanging out at a restaurant and ordering, like, you know, an appetizer for the table or a set of, you know, I think of fries for the table and not actually buying anything isn't profitable for the company. It just used to be a necessary evil that people dealt with, that, like, sometimes people aren't going to buy money. Sometimes people aren't going to buy things. Sometimes people aren't going to spend money. But, like, it's just, like, not... It's not a necessary evil anymore, so they stopped tolerating it, so it's just not... It doesn't happen anymore. People don't hang out in person anymore. What do you do instead? You be miserable by yourself. Like, it's... I made a whole video on this, but, like, it's no wonder that people are lonely and the mental health crisis is so bad. Because everyone's so separated from each other. I recorded 2 angry videos today. I'm just mad. I'm just mad that this is where I am and how I have to live, you know? It's like, I just, like... I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? Let me know. Because I feel like there isn't a good place. I feel like there isn't a good place for me to go. I feel like there isn't any good things for me to do that don't cost a fortune, because everything is so expensive. I want to just be able to not spend money. Because look, if I'm willing to spend money, sure, there's places I could go. But I don't want to spend a lot of money every time I hang out with someone. Like, I could go and have an experience every time I hang out with someone, but that's just not something that I could, like, financially feel good about. Even if, like maybe I could afford it if it was the only thing I was spending money on. But I feel like that's just not a smart thing to do. It's not a smart thing to spend all of my money on, like, experiences, especially with, like, everything in the economy is just getting worse and worse and worse. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, like, it feels like I should save money, but also it feels like the only way I can possibly connect with people is by spending money. And maybe that's on purpose. I don't know. Maybe people are being drained of money on purpose, and, like, you know, that's... like, oh my goodness. Like, maybe that's why everyone is... That's not why everyone's... The reason everyone is so broke is because the cost of living is just high. But, I mean, excluding that, like, if you get lucky with the places, like, you know, where you rent and what kind of job you have, I even feel like it's not, like, to enjoy your life, you need to spend more money than you can. Like, right now, the economy is bad just for, like... It's hard to, like, survive. But, like, even beyond that, it's so much infinitely more difficult to thrive, to actually be happy, to, like, I don't know, to, please, please. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, man. I thought it would keep getting away with not dying, but, I just, like, because everything is so expensive. Like, I am at the point right now where I don't even have, like, proper bills yet, right? I'm working a part-time job for not enough money, and I don't have proper bills yet. I have a credit card. I don't use it more than I need to, you know. I don't have rent. I don't, like, the only things that I pay for are things that I choose to pay for, and I still see how expensive everything is, how hard it is to enjoy things, you know, like, how hard it is to, like, I want to hang out with my friends and it costs so much money, and I'm not even spending money on, like, necessities. I'm just spending money on things that I want to spend money on, and I'm already like, wow, I'm spending a lot of money. You know? I'm already like, wow, I feel like I'm not saving enough. And I'm hardly spending any money at all. I'm being so conscious about it. Because I feel bad every time I spend money because of the economy and that's not, I don't feel like I think that's a good thing that, like, I try not to spend money, you know? But, like, it's, like, I don't know, it's just rough because, like, what do you do? Because what do you do? I don't know. Like, what do you do for no money? When you want to save money, when you want to hang out with people and not spend money, what do you do? Because you can't hang out in a place for too long without spending money, because they kick you out. Apparently, it's happened to me twice, you know? Like, I can't just go somewhere and exist. I need to be giving someone money all of the time. Or if I'm not actively buying something, I need to be consuming something that ads can be put next to. So it's getting someone money. So it's getting someone exposure. So, you know, like, if I'm not buying anything, I need to be on the internet where I'm constantly exposed to ads. I need to be somewhere where I can still, you know, be the product if I'm not going to buy a product. Why is that the case? But that's the case because everything is just run by people that want money. But, like, it's so hard to exist. Let me have fun. Let me at least, like, hang out in a Walmart. Like, my goodness, you know, like, let me at least hang out at a restaurant, at a Walmart. Let me just be. I need something like a library, because a library is the only place that you can really just sit and be, and that be completely fine. But I can't be loud in a library. I can't hang out with people in a library. That's not how that works. A library is a place for studying, where you can be there for as long as you want, and that's awesome, and that's great. And you have so many resources that you can access all of the time. I need something like that, but, like, for being loud, you know? I need a place where I can just go and talk to someone and that not be bad at all, for that to just be, like, good and normal and, like, something that's necessary for, like, genuine connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's the thing, is no one can make a place like that because it wouldn't be profitable by definition, you know? Like, no one can make a place like that because inherent to it being a place like that, you don't make any money. Unless it was, I mean, honestly, if it was just a place that you could hang out and it costed like $5 at the door, I'd do that, you know? If it costed like $5 at a door and then they sold food or something, you know, that'd be fine. But I feel like even that's not really, like, you need to keep the lights on, you know? Like, my main thing is that it needs to be, like, climate controlled, because that's, like, my main issue that I keep running into is, like, it's that it's too hot or too cold or too rainy or too windy, or, like, something is happening outside where, like, I can't just hang out outside. I want to be somewhere inside. But even just to pay for that AC and heat and keep the lights on, that's expensive, and I don't know if that cheap of a fee per person is going to really do it. I don't know. Like, I'm not a business bro. I just wish that someone would figure it out and make it work, because, like, I don't know. I just, like, let's go. I feel like it's something that just needs to happen. It's something that needs to exist in some capacity. It's not going to make anyone money, but it's going to benefit the society. It's like parks, you know? But the thing is that parks aren't enough anymore because we've ruined the climate to a certain extent that, like, we've ruined everything so that you can't just, I mean, you can just go out and exist, but, like, it's, I don't know. Like, you can go out and exist and, like, have, like, you can go to a park if you want to. It's just unpleasant. That's what I'm saying. I got distracted because I died. I'm sorry. That's why it's. I like talking and doing this, but sometimes it gets distracting. Like you can go to a park and exist. You always can. You're always allowed to, unless it's after dark, actually. So no, you can't always go to a park, because I've had friends that got kicked out of a park because it was after dark. So that's not true. Because as I said, like, me and my friends go to the park. We like to. I don't know, we like to just go places and hang out, and all of us are very money conscious because you need to be, you know? Like, all of us are. I don't know, that's the end of that. I guess I've got a couple more minutes to talk, but, like, it's just hard to. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like that's a common theme to, like, I don't really know what to do. I don't. Probably fine. Like, I just. I feel like it's just. The society isn't built around, like, young adults anymore like it used to be. It's built around older people because that's where the money is, because the society is built around where the money is, and that's always been the case. But historically, the money has been with the younger people. Historically, it's been, teenagers have the most money to spend. Or I guess, like, the concept of a teenager wasn't even a thing until, like, whatever. Like, I'm thinking, like, modern history, like 1900s, right? All the way up until the 90s, like, the money was in, like, it was with the teenager, because the teenager didn't have bills, didn't have necessary things to buy. The teenager could just spend money on whatever they wanted. So that's why when you think of, like, or at least when I think of, like, the 70s, 80s, 90s, I think of, like, a teenager or a young adult, or, like, like, somewhere between, like, 16 and mid-20s when I think of a person from that era, because that's where the money is, or maybe it's because I'm that age, I don't know, but, like, when you're thinking of the target consumer, it's going to be someone that age. Those are the people that care about the trends. Those are the people that are buying things in stores. Those are the people that are going to the malls. Those are the people that are, like, just spending the money that they get, Once you have bills and stuff, you have less expendable income. And still, I mean, like, the housing market's an important one. The car market's an important one. There's still, like, these huge markets targeting young adults. But the thing is that the young population has been so extorted for, like they're not getting paid, and they're just working all of the time. They don't have a lot of free time, and they don't have a lot of money, so they're not being the perfect consumers. And also the, like, younger generation, like, I would in theory be a part of that age bracket that would be super susceptible to, like, trends and stuff, and I would in theory be, like, one of those people that would be spending a lot of money, but I'm not, because I'm so aware of how bad the society, like, how bad the economy is, when I meant how bad that, like, things are going to get, and how I need to save my money. How right now, when all of the money that I choose to spend is a choice, I need to, it's horrible. I need to save the money. I need to not spend the money. Like, I am aware that right now is, like, even though I'm not making a lot of money, every dollar that I make, I get to choose exactly where it goes. I don't really get to, like, I mean, in theory, you always get to choose where it goes, but it's like, okay, well, I'm going to need a house when I move out. Right now, I have a house for free, Like, I'm going to need to buy food when I move out. Right now, my parents can supply most of that, so I only need to buy food that I want. If I want to go out to eat, if I want to get fast food or whatever, like, I can choose to buy certain food. I can choose to, like, do certain things, but just for the most part, like, I just, like, I won't get to choose later, and I'm just going to have to spend all of the money. So I want to save as much money as I can now. And that wasn't really the thinking of the past. That wasn't really the thinking of these, like, generations that were super defined by trends where you would spend every dollar that you made because you trusted that the economy was going to be good in the future, that you would just get another job, that, you know, you're only young once and, like, might as well make the most of it, might as well blow all my money, why not? And I feel like people my age don't think that way. I mean, like, some of us do, some of us don't, but, like, for the most part, a lot less of us think that way. A lot more of us are concerned about the future and concerned about how the economy is going to look post, like, just being able to spend my money on whatever I want. So I'm saving my money, and so are a lot of my friends, that we're being very conscious about how we're spending our money, and that just makes it, like, I don't know, like, that makes it so that we're not where the money is at anymore. That's what I was getting at, is that, like, it was previously that the younger generation was the one that you want to market to the most, and it still is marketed towards a lot, but it's like they're not going to put up with us not spending a lot of money the way that they used to, because they could previously trust, like, okay, well, you know, these kids are just going to not order very much food. Like, you know, these kids are just going to sit around a table, waste one of our tables, and just order a thing of fries and talk for hours, and that's not great for our business, but I know that we're but we know that we are their spot, you know? Like, when they do come to get food, they're going to come here again, and then we're going to make money, you know? This is good for business, even though right now at this specific instance, it's not. Now, with people being more, like, and that, because that's the thing, is, like, that's what would happen, is when you can spend all of the money that you want, you choose to spend it at your favorite places and whatever. Like, I mean, I guess obviously that's still true, but it's like more money was being spent then, and you could sort of trust that in the future they would spend more money, whereas now, when it seems that everyone in my generation is more money conscious, that's not a guaranteed as much as it was, where if I go somewhere and I don't spend money, it's not, okay, well, we know that we're their spot, so we're going to let it happen. It's another group of kids that don't want to spend money. Well, I'm going to move them out of the way to make room for our paying customers, you know? Because that trust isn't there anymore, because the money isn't, like, the money is kind of in the younger generation, like, we're working and we have money, but, like, it's not in circulation from the younger generation like it used to be. Now it's mostly in the older people, or even the retired people that can, you know, those are more tolerated to, like, the group of retired women that are going to go to brunch, you know? They're going to let them just sit and talk for forever because they know that that's their spot. That's, like, they know that the restaurant knows that for that group, that's, like, you know, that's where they are going to go, and if they kick them out, they're less likely to go there again. And they are actually spending money. They can trust and know that they're going to spend money because that's the generation that has the money right now. So, I mean, that's at least my theory about it. That the younger generation doesn't have money like it used to, so they're not being catered to like they used to. So if we're not making them money, we just kind of get kicked out because we're not, like, the trust isn't there that we will give them money in the future because we don't trust that we're going to make money in the future. So we're not spending it all willy-nilly like we used to be able to. And it's just, I don't know, it sucks. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish I could spend money and trust in the economy, but I don't. You know, like, oops. I don't trust in the government right now because I see where it's at right now and I don't see any plans for change. So I know that things are going to be hard for me when I'm an adult. So why would I make things harder for myself by spending all the money that I have right now? And maybe I'll end up regretting that decision. Maybe I'll say I should have spent more money on hanging out with friends when I had the time because now I don't have time to. But I feel like I'll be happy that I saved most of my money because I'm going to need it to survive, you know? I don't know. It just sucks. I wish that I wish that I was still the generation being catered to, but I just, more than that, you can't develop friendships without that. That was like an integral part to growing up and being friends with people, and now that's sort of missing, and it's trying to be replaced by just online stuff, and that's not how it works. You know, it's not like that's not the same. You can't just replace that. So everyone is miserable, and there's no way to fix it except for spending an absurd amount of money. But I know that people do that anyway, and they don't seem that much happier. So I know there's like greater issues at play. It's just that, like, I don't know. It's one of them. One of the issues at play is that, like, whatever. I just, like, it's annoying. I wish I could go somewhere and not spend money. That's my argument. Is I wish that I could go to a place, hang out with my friends, not spend money, but have it be that we could go there regardless of the weather. You know, have it climate controlled, have it like so that even if it's hot or rainy or windy or storming or like if all of the stuff that's going on outside is happening, that we can still hang out and I can still have a place to go with my friends, because I feel like that just doesn't really exist anymore like it used to, and it's making me upset because I want it. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. I just wanted to talk about that because I literally got kicked out of a Walmart. That might be the title, that I got kicked out of a Walmart. Because I got kicked out of a Walmart for just hanging out there. It sucks. It sucks. Sucks. Whatever. I hope it changes in the future, but it won't, because unless the economy and the government fundamentally changes, the money's not going to be in the young people anytime soon. I wish I kind of came to that conclusion as I was talking. I wish I came to it earlier, because I think that's a good talking point, and like, whatever. I got to it at the end. Yeah, that's about all that. Yeah, see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.